Hello and welcome to Kiddi English Stories YouTube channel. Please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Today I am going to listen to a very interesting story about the wealth of compassion. In the bustling city of Newbrook, there lived two men whose lives were starkly divided by the lines of wealth and poverty. Mr. Richard Thornton, a wealthy real estate tycoon, occupied a penthouse in the city's most luxurious skyscraper. In sharp contrast, Mr. John Miller eked out a humble existence in a cramped apartment in one of the city's less affluent neighborhoods. Richard Thornton, with his tailored suits and sleek black car, was the embodiment of affluence. His life was a whirlwind of power meetings, lavish parties, and expensive vacations. He was the envy of many and lived in the lap of luxury. But amidst all his riches, he was a man plagued by loneliness and discontent. John Miller, on the other hand, was a simple man with modest means. He worked as a janitor in a local school, earning just enough to pay the bills and put food on the table for his daughter, Emily. Their apartment was small, and the furniture was second-hand, but their hearts were full of love and warmth. One chilly winter morning, Richard Thornton, bundled up in his designer overcoat, stepped out of his penthouse and onto the elevator. As he descended to the ground floor, he overheard the building's maintenance worker, John Miller, talking to a colleague about his daughter's upcoming birthday. Emily had always wanted a bicycle, but John could barely make ends meet, let alone afford a bicycle. Richard couldn't help but overhear the conversation and was struck by the simplicity of Emily's wish. After all, what was a bicycle to a man of his wealth? That evening, as Richard reclined in his plush leather chair, sipping on expensive wine, he couldn't shake the image of Emily's bright smile as she talked about the bicycle. He contemplated his own life of opulence and the emptiness that gnawed at him. The next day, Richard made a decision that would change both his and John's lives. He contacted a local bike shop and had the finest bicycle delivered to John's apartment, along with a note that read, "For Emily, with best wishes." When John opened the door to find the brand new bicycle, tears welled up in his eyes. He couldn't believe his eyes and was overwhelmed with gratitude. He realized the gift could only have come from one person in the building, Mr. Thornton. Meanwhile, Richard had expected nothing in return for his gesture. He merely hoped to bring a moment of joy into Emily's life. However, as days passed, he found himself thinking more and more about John and Emily. He couldn't help but wonder what it was like to live a life driven by love rather than wealth. Richard decided to pay John and Emily a visit. He knocked on their apartment door, and when John opened it, he was surprised to see the wealthy businessman standing there. Richard introduced himself and explained how he had come to know about Emily's wish. Over a cup of tea, Richard and John shared their life stories. John spoke of the challenges he faced, trying to provide for Emily as a single parent, and Richard shared the loneliness and dissatisfaction that had haunted him despite his wealth. As the two men talked, they discovered that they had more in common than they could have ever imagined. They both yearned for something missing in their lives, John for financial stability, and Richard for genuine human connections. They decided to work together. Richard offered John a part-time job as his personal assistant, allowing John to earn a better income while still spending time with Emily. In return, John introduced Richard to the joys of volunteering at the local soup kitchen, where they both found fulfillment in helping those less fortunate. As the months passed, a deep friendship grew between Richard and John. Richard discovered that true happiness didn't come from material possessions, but from the meaningful relationships he had built. John, on the other hand, found the financial stability he needed to provide a better life for Emily. Together, they initiated community projects to improve the living conditions in their neighborhood. They transformed a rundown park into a safe and vibrant place for children to play and learn. The wealthy and the less fortunate residents of Newbrook came together to support these initiatives, bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. In the end, both Richard and John learned that wealth wasn't defined by the size of one's bank account, but by the compassion and kindness one showed to others. Their friendship served as a testament to the fact that, no matter our circumstances, we can all find common ground and make the world a better place through empathy and understanding. The city of Newbrook was forever changed, proving that sometimes the richest treasures are found in the most unexpected places. Hope you like the story. Hit the like button and share with your friends. And do subscribe to the channel. Thank you.